Perfect. So this talk is welcome everyone. This talk is about shortcuts or hotkeys in Unity. So basically, to speed up your navigation skills or setting up scenes or whatever, using shortcuts makes your life hopefully easier. And these are some of them are documented, some you have to find for your own. And yeah, I will try to give you a short overview. So everybody, I will start with the most obvious ones. So let me just put the scene on top of here. So we have like our 3 mouse buttons. If I use the left mouse button, I should be able to select something. Yes. If I click the mouse button and drag it, then you make a multi-selection. The middle mouse button is your thing to move or pan around in the scene, and the right mouse button is like rotating and also activating navigation. So if you see this eye icon with these 4 dots, it means your WASD key is activated, so I can move around with the WASD key like in every first-person shooter. What's not so well documented is that you can also use the scroll, the mouse scroll wheel to speed up things or slow down things. People who are using Unreal maybe know this, but in Unity it's not documented, or I haven't found that documentation about that. But it's working, I think, since Unity 2019. Maybe it's also Unity 2018. Yeah, so this is the short thing about navigation modes. One big thing in Unity is, I put this in again on the bottom. You can for sure select game objects, but the more I think about selection is like, if you have hit the F key, you can move the camera directly to the selected game object. So if I move now around this game object, it's always in the center of the rotation, and nothing drifts away or something like that. You can hit double F, whatever this mean. This means it's the same thing. You just go a little bit more near to the object, closer to the object. One nice thing is if you press Shift and F, you force the camera to be anchored to this object. So if I had hit the play button now, I don't see it because of share screen. No, play, yes. Once again. Okay. So I can run around, and if I drop down, the camera stays fixed to my object, and Unity takes care of keeping track of the object as long as it's available in the scene. And let's see if I can take something from the scenery, like one of the cacti or something like that. So if I hit the Shift F key, you see that the camera is going with it up and down. Maybe I have to go on to the top level. Yeah. So this is a nice way to keep like game objects in focus if they are moved around by physics or whatever, and you don't want to lose track of them during play mode sessions. One nice few little people know, but it's well documented. Let me see if I can move the, yeah, I can move the screen. It's documented here in the game object is like toggle active state, which is with Alt Shift and A. So let me. Sorry, my cat is meowing. If I have hit Alt Shift and A, I can toggle the object on and off, which is quite nice for artists to, I don't know, look behind scenes or something like that. So if I have like here something in my view obstructing objects behind, I can hit the Shift A and see what's behind. And one cool thing Unity also offers is like multi-selection. How do you say, you can define multiple selection. So let's say I make a selection here of some game objects, and then I hit Control Alt and 1. So I have now saved this selection, hopefully, and I can retrieve it with Alt Shift 1. That didn't work. It sometimes doesn't work in the first place. I don't know why. If it's a bug in Unity, or I have to make multiple selection first and then I can switch. No. Okay. Let's try again. Control. I didn't. I hit Shift, I think. And Control Shift 1. So yeah, there's my selection. Then I can make another selection. Control Alt 2, and then I can toggle between these two. So I think this is also nice for artists to have a group selection. So you can have 9 different selections from 1 to 9, and then jump in between them. Another nice thing Unity has is like the unfolding and folding of stuff. You are aware that you can go around here with the cursor keys, and if I have hit the right cursor, it opens, unfolds the stuff, and if I go left, it goes up the hierarchy and closes everything. If I hit the Alt key in addition to the right key, it completely opens the whole hierarchy, and the same goes if I hold Alt and go to the left, then it closes the whole hierarchy. So if I just open with a normal right click, I just get the first level of all objects. I think this is it's not very deep. Nothing is very deep here. Okay, doesn't matter. But I think you get so the UI is always awesome. So I can like just have multiple, or I can go down the hierarchy and see what's inside. And if I want to have like the whole overview, how many objects are really inside, then I hit the Alt button, which is quite nice. Yeah, that's like the first part for navigation. For object manipulation, we have these icons here on the top, which are the same like the keyboards from QW. So this is Q, this is W, E, R, T, and the last one is Y. Moment, English? No, I'm in German. So normally it's QWERTY, and depending on your keyboard, it's either Z or whatever is next to T. And I make a new scene for that. Basic. Don't say. Let's create some objects. One nice thing is like if I hit the Q, then I can pan the scene around. If I hit W, then I'm in the movement part. Like if I grab one of the gizmos. If I go to E, I can rotate the object. Same goes for R. Then I can scale it up and down. And if I hit T, this is normally for UI, so for 2D manipulation. For 3D object, it makes not really sense, but it's here. And one nice thing is that you can also make like snapping to the grid or make increments in rotation and what's the one in scaling. So if I go to W again, so I'm in the movement part, I can hit the control key and then take the left mouse button, and then I only move the thing in increments. So let's reset this to 0, 0, 0. We can reset it. Focus it and control. And now you see that I'm incrementing in 0.5 steps. I can change, let's go to rotation. If I hit here the control key, I rotate in 50-degree steps. And if I go to scaling, I scale in one unit steps. You can change this behavior in the grid axis and edit in grid snap settings. So here I have my movement settings. I have the rotation, so I can go to 30 and I go scaling like, let's say 1/8. And now I can hit control and scale, and I have a finer way of scaling my objects. For the grid snapping, I have now one units moving around and snapping, and rotation should be now on 30 degrees when I rotate the object. So there you can change how fine or grainy it should be when you hit the control key. And with the grid itself, there are some nice things, but I have to switch to the English keyboard because the German keyboard doesn't support brackets. So you see now this funny two things. It's this one is the opening square bracket, and this one is the closing square bracket. So please translate for yourself. If I do this, sorry, if I hit control and hit the opening square bracket, then I make the grid solution finer, and if I hit it in the other direction, so the closing square bracket, the resolution of the grid gets coarse. And then one nice thing is like you can also adjust the position of the grid with shift and the square brackets. So if I hit shift and why doesn't the key work? Okay. So you see that the grid goes through my game objects and I can move it up and down. And this, yep.
Sorry, one question. Is there a way to see what is the unit separation on the grid? No.
I think you have to go into edit and grid set. No.
Because
actually,
I mean that would be awesome, no? Also.
Yeah, because then you get lost if it's now 1 point or not 1 point. I agree. I haven't found it. If you can see it, but what you can change the axis here, and it's the same like for all the axes.
Yeah.
So I can move them around. So if you want to, I don't know, build a city or something, you can then move the. Why does the shift not work correctly? Then you can move it around, make the next layer or something like that, and nicely align it to the grid. One other nice thing is like if I have something here, so I have a game object somewhere like the sphere and the camera now, and I want to have them back in the view. I can again make the move to view, so which also is Control Alt F. So if I move the camera around and then hit Control Alt F again, it should go back. No, yeah, it should go back to to the middle of the view. And one other nice shortcut is like, which is most practically for the camera, but which works for every other game object the same, is like align with view. So now my camera is exactly where the scene camera is. So if I go out, go away from the original position, you see my camera appearing, which is quite nice. And the shortcut, as you have seen, is like Control Shift F. And so I can select now where my camera should be looking at. And then I hit Control Shift F if I have selected the camera. And now you see that I have more or less the same view, depending on for sure the field of view. If it's hitting more or less but it's hitting the view of the scene camera. So I look in the same direction and from the same position. Yeah, the last thing, one more thing, which is quite nice, is like you can also snap stuff to vertices. So I go now into the wired view. Let's reset the transform. If I hit the V key, is it V? Is it what is called in English? I hope so. But you see it anyhow. So I'm now, sorry, I think my keyboard is low on battery. Now I can align the cube on a vertex of another game object, which comes quite in handy, especially if you have like a second cube and you want to align them. So you can either go by trying, didn't duplicate it. You can try to kind of align it, but if you use like this trick with V, you can select one of the vertices and then say, okay, I want to snap it here, or whatever. Another funny thing is, like, if you are in rotation mode and hit the V key, let's see if it gets, no, it doesn't work now. Let's see. So Shift V, I want to select this vertex. And now I can rotate around the vertex, or even scale around the vertex, which is quite nice. I only found this out when I did this tutorial or this recording, and was like, that's nice. I need it so often in my life.
Exactly. This is really cool. It's like to be able to see the pivot and to
exactly. Otherwise, you have to regroup it with game objects and to pivot on the correct spot and stuff like that, and then scale it and then unhook it from the hierarchy again. And this is really, I think, a nice feature. So you have to select a vertex with Shift V, and then okay, I have to go to the movement tool, and then I can press Shift F and select one of the vertices. No, Unity don't like me at the moment. So vertex, Shift vertex. Okay, we have it. I hope so. No, I don't know why it's okay. Now we have it. So, and then I can again scale and rotate around this selected vertex. So this is, I think, quite a nice trick. What else has Unity to offer? You can jump around through all, you can go by hand through all the different tabs of Unity, but you can also go with shortcuts like Control 1 is scene, Control 2 is game, Control 3 is the inspector, Control 4 is hierarchy, Control 5 goes directly to the project, 6 is animation, 7 is profiler, 8 is the audio mixer, 9 does nothing. It was the asset store, but asset store is kicked out since 2019 or something. At least since 2020 is no longer inside Unity. You have to go to your browser. With Control 0, you get the services. And with Control Shift C, you get to the console. So it's a nice way to jump around. The most useful for me, at least, is like it's switching between game and scene view, and probably between hierarchy and project. So if I go to hierarchy, I can go up and down and select maybe something or disable something. And then I go to project, maybe I need something. The problem is you have to select it first. Then I can go around and say, okay, I need something, whatever, from textures or from materials and stuff like that. And then I go back to hierarchy and whatever. Yeah. Then two or three important things is like Control P. The most people know is like starting and stopping the play mode. I have nothing to play, that's true. But another one is like Control Shift P is puts in pause. So I can now directly start with a paused Unity thingy. And the other one is like if I hit Control Alt P, I step over. Let me load this Lego scene again. I hope we see it there. So I hit play. Let me move the scene. So, and if I hit now Control Alt P, I can simply step frame by frame through the play mode. So you don't have to go up there and hit the stop, step, but you just hit Control Alt and P. I think this is also very nice, especially if you have time critical stuff and you know now I have to go step by step. You don't have to switch between keyboard and mouse and then like, I missed it again. Yeah. And that's for the moment all of my shortkeys. I will prepare paper, like a document, and then share it online in the meetup and on our YouTube channel. And yeah, any questions, any suggestions? Maybe you know some more key shortkeys. I will be glad to hear it.
One I always use, it works at least on Windows, is F2 to rename things.
Stuff, yeah, true.
So whatever is selected in the project view or the hierarchy, if you press F2 on Windows, then it starts renaming, which is also the Windows shortcuts in the Windows Explorer.
Explorer, exactly.
Yeah, and on Mac it's different, if I remember right.
On Mac it should be return because it's in the Finder. It's normally return.
Exactly, and Mac is mapped to the same behavior as the Finder.
Yeah.
One shortcut I often use or is very important for me is for building. I think it's Control B or Control Shift B. I haven't used Unity in a while, but did anybody remembers the?
What do you do with that?
To build.
Control B is building, and
building.
Control Shift B is the settings.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. True. I will take them to true. Yeah.
But if you have cloud build, you know.
Exactly, yes. Then you can forget about all that.
Here we link to the cloud build tutorial in the video.
Down below.
Nice.
I just saw that Unity actually has a group function now. Control G just works. You don't have to make a selection script for that anymore. To group game object.
Like I select multiple and then make a group? No.
Yeah, Control G. I don't know if it is in 2020, but
okay.
Yeah, it's in 2020. It's a new project, so should work. Or
I think my keyboard is dying.
No, sorry. I have actually a script in there.
Okay.
But that's really a cool thing that you can add scripts for custom keyboard shortcuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
I also like the empty game objects for the describing the section. Did it come from the sample scene, or did you in the Lego scene?
It's in the Lego scene, yeah, by default.
Okay.
It was there by default. We practiced this too in the company, but yeah, I don't know.
I always didn't like.
Yeah, me neither. It's like it's a waste of game objects, and Unity and game objects is like
it's a discussion of caps and spaces.
But to create a empty game object real fast, you can press Control Shift N.
Exactly.
That's also
and
I
Control
use that a lot.
Control Alt N or something like that is like building a new game object as a child. It's Alt Shift N. Yeah.
So Control Shift N is for empty game object, and
Control Alt N is an empty game object as a child on the selected game object.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and then you can wait. I will share again. And then you can hit Alt Shift Control Shift Alt A, I think, and then you can add. Let me see.
For the components.
Exactly. Then you can add components, but my keyboard is dead. I think the battery died because it's happening. No control.
Could it be that this is active?
Control Shift A it is. Control Shift A, and then you get add component, and then you can hit the name like rigid body, and you add it. Yeah.
Cool.
I will add this too. Control Shift A. Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. All right. Thanks a lot, Gottfried, for the nice intro.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
man.
you.
It was really, really cool.
Thanks.